Hey everybody, it's Tony Robbins.
And Dean Graziosi.
Listen, there's a crisis in our country, and I know you know what it is. When most people try to answer the question, how do I create an extraordinary quality of life, and you're young, the first thing you've been taught to do is go find a great university, pass those SAT scores, get the best grades, find a way to get into the best university, find out how to pay for it, and then come out of there and get this great job. But unfortunately, it doesn't work that way anymore, as I'm sure you know. First of all, we have, 110 universities have $1 billion endowment each. They're like hedge funds with universities attached to them. And then the next challenge is you spend all this money, and the money has now grown 8 times faster than earnings. So people have this huge amount of debts. And here's the really crazy thing. 72% of the people who get that degree never work in that industry. You know, the 23% that do, that group of people.
Yeah, over half of them don't like the job they got.
It's insane. So you spend all this money and time and energy. So what we need is a way for people to learn that's more efficient, that's more cost efficient, and it's more effective. Something that actually affects the quality of your life. Something that can affect your finances or your body or your relationships or the things that matter most to you.
And that's why people say in today's world that knowledge is the new currency. Because here's the thing, you can go out and buy the fancy car and the fancy watch, or you could pay a lot for school. Not all school is bad. It's helped so many people. It just, school hasn't kept up with the evolving times. And that's why there's $1.5 trillion in debt. That's why there's a whole new generation with new angst on how they're going to pay off debt. In fact, I just read an article that said millennials are buying houses 8 years later, and they think the number one cause, it could be a lot of things, but they think the number one cause is all the college debt. Yeah. But what the world is realizing is that knowledge is the new currency. They're paying for speed by paying people like you to extract your knowledge, a skill, an expertise. They'd rather learn from a professional actually doing it than a professional teacher in a classroom. I mean, when people say to me, Dean, what is the knowledge industry? What are you and Tony doing? One of the things I love to say, and I love to ask you this, if you could go back 5 years, 10 years, maybe even 20 years and spend one day with your younger self, one day with your 20-year-old version, what would that be worth to you to say, avoid this, make sure you put the gas down when you hit this, don't do this at all, and change that whole belief system you had because it's wrong? What would that be worth to you? And especially if you're in business or you have an expertise, whether that's a carpenter, an accountant, fly fishing, or you cut hair, what would that be worth to go back? Well, that's the self-education industry. People are saying, should I go back to college or stick with this job? Or let me go find somebody who's already done what I want to do for 5 or 10 years more than me and pay them to, as Tony says, condense decades into days. And that's the knowledge industry. That's why Tony and I have come together to create the process, the blueprint to show you how to impact other people's lives. All those people that need that information where college may not be working, or maybe they went to college years ago and they're stuck in something that's not working. They want to pay you to impact their lives. And we wanted to create the blueprint. And we're so excited that we're going live once again. We did it last year, pretty much broke the internet. And you can click the link on this page and see how you can reserve a spot for this live training.
We had over 200,000 people join us when we did this last February, and we're doing it again this February. And we've done our 2.0 version. We spent a year putting this together. We have a community now of 21,000 people on Facebook from almost 100 countries who are all supporting each other. And they're all people finding that they either have some expertise themselves that they can share in a mastermind format, or there's someone else. I started promoting a man named Jim Rohn, my original teacher. I was a kind of a knowledge broker, and I learned how to do this, and then I became the speaker myself. So if there's something that you would like to do that would be more meaningful, this is an opportunity to do it, and there's no cost to it, and we want to add massive value to you. So all you have to do is click down below and join us on that day, lock it in your calendar, and we'll deliver that value for you. You can judge for yourself.
Yeah, there's nothing like live. And so many people hit our office up last time with FOMO, that my daughter taught me FOMO years ago, fear of missing out. Don't miss out. This is live. You never get a second chance at live. We'd love for you to join us. It's free, and we've been planning a year to rock the house. All you got to do is click the link on this page, reserve your spot, and we'll see you live.
We'll see you then.